God is the Lord of our money too, and we are to honor him by what that money is spent on. They know that. They know that. And Sebelius, who heads Health and Human Services, is a Catholic by, in terms of where she's on the rolls, so, shall we say. She knows exactly what this attack means. And we need every American to stand up and fight this. For those who might think, you know what, I use contraception, I don't really have a problem with sterilization, and though I don't believe in abortion, I just don't think this is the battle I want to be involved in. I would say to them, this is your fight, and you have to show up. If they can topple the Catholic Church, it will be nothing to come after your small little denomination and counter the things that are your deeply held convictions. We're not asking everyone to hold the same convictions we have, although we'd love to give the reasons why we believe these things. But it is about the freedom of religion and the freedom of conscience. And it should deeply concern every American that this president has felt so free to attack what I would say is at the very heart of our Constitution and our American way of life.
So oftentimes it's, well, why does the church ban contraception? And oftentimes that's the way it's phrased, is the church bans contraception. And that way of expressing it, it sounds like the way the church, it sounds like an arbitrary rule that the church has made up. What Catholics believe, and what the Catholic Church teaches, is that contraception is contrary to the natural law. That it is objectively morally wrong is something that anyone should be able to see by his reason, that they don't have to look to Revelation or the Bible or the teaching of the church in order to see this, although that's very helpful in order to see this. And so it's grounded in the basic human goods of the human person. The natural law is, I think, very simple. There are various basic human goods, such as life, knowledge, friendship, the harmony between ourselves and the Creator, which is religion. These are basic human goods that we ought to pursue. We ought to choose to pursue these, and that's being morally upright. That's acting morally well. And we also ought not to choose precisely against any of these basic goods. To choose against a basic human good, such as life, or such as knowledge, or such as communication, is to choose precisely against the intrinsic good of a person. We believe contraception. We hold that contraception is objectively morally wrong because it is a choice contrary to the coming to be of human life. Now, it's not a choice to destroy a human life that already exists. That's even more seriously wrong. That would be the choice to kill a human being. But it is a choice in which one pits one's will or directs one's will against the coming to be of human life. And so it's an anti-life act. One's life is not open to the coming to be of human life. And so in that sense, one has closed one's will to new human life, and that's not a morally right choice. And so this is something that we can defend by reason. It's not just some weird, rule that we've made up. It's something that is reasonable. That's only one of the arguments. There are other arguments also. I think another argument, I think, way of seeing this is that in the sexual act, the man and the woman become one body. They become one flesh. They embody their marriage precisely by becoming biologically one, by performing the kind of act that could procreate if other conditions are present, even if those other conditions are not present. But now, if they choose, in other words, the marriage is the kind of act that, marriage is the kind of union that is fulfilled by procreation, by having and raising children together. And that's because that's what marriage is. Not every marriage results in children, but it's the kind of union that would be fulfilled by having and raising children. Then marriage is embodied, is built up and expressed by a procreative type act, the kind of act that would procreate if other conditions were present, by their becoming bodily one. So if they do something to make sure it's not a procreative type act, if they make sure it's not if they do something to make sure that procreation is impossible or it's not the kind of thing that could procreate, then they've rendered it not a marital act. It's not one in which they become one body. And so it's not really promoting their marriage, building up a marriage, and then it's not really contributing to a human good.